All right. So Shaq Diesel, let
Hmm.
him tell it, the original Superman,
Hmm.
uh believes that men shouldn't confide in women.
Oh,
He thinks that men shouldn't open up to women. Very interesting take
look
from
out.
the legendary NBA superstar, four-time NBA champion, three-peating with the Lakers, once with our Miami Heat. He thinks that men should never open up to women because it can be too costly for you. So check out what Shaq had to say. Shaq is not here for it. Does not think that men should open up to women at all. I'm sure women are gonna love these comments.
Oh
But
Lord.
here's what Shaq had to say about men who should not about men not opening up to women, that they shouldn't do it.
Open up to a woman?
Yeah.
Never. No, never.
When's the last time you think you've opened up to a woman?
We don't.
Your whole life.
Bro, I'm telling you, they
You know,
gon'
got players like I could. Me and him related.
yeah.
It's our first time meeting,
Yeah,
but
I
I
can
did.
tell you
Yeah,
guys. There's
no, I
some
don't.
connection here,
Oh no,
They gonna tell you can't.
because you know why?
but it's a trap.
Because you know why?
I'm trapped
No, no,
like a motherfucker.
no. I'm gonna tell you why. Because once you do, whenever something go down, they're gonna throw it back in your face.
So I've had
That's why.
that.
Real.
That's why. So you can't ever.
That's why you crackers. Your
Yeah,
dad
yeah,
left.
yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
All right, so yeah, he says you men just shouldn't do it, but for practical reasons. He feels like if you do it, it's gonna come back to bite you in the ass. She gonna throw it back up in your face. Um, I'll go ahead and start this one.
Hmm.
Um, so we have to keep in mind and contextualize these comments based upon Shaq's experiences.
Okay.
Um, so that's the thing. When we are looking at stuff like this, you really have to contextualize where you are and where somebody like Shaq is. So Shaq has lived in the limelight as an all-time great NBA superstar. A lot of people think he's one of the 10 greatest players ever. I would agree. I think Shaq's one of the 10 greatest players ever. Playing for the Lakers, three-peating, playing for the Heat, getting another championship, high-profile endorsements all over the place, superstar status, movies, TV shows, NBA on TNT, Turner Sports, all this stuff. Shaq's all over the place. I've lost count of all of Shaq's endorsements. The General Insurance, Carnival Cruise Lines. He is every damn where. The guy is like the basketball Kevin Hart in terms of how many endorsements he has. The dude is just all over the place.
Hmm.
So Shaq has probably lived an existence in which you want to be guarded with how much you share with women because it could perhaps come back to cost you. But see the previous video that we discussed with Jalen Green and Drea Michelle. It probably behooves a man to not share intimate information with strippers, Instagram models, porn stars, social media influencers, fitness models. If you're a man and these are the types of women that you dilly dally with, probably best to withhold classified information because women of that ilk, I would imagine, are more prone to declassifying said information. Now, if you are not somebody who comes from Shaq's experiences in life, and you are just a regular person, a commoner, or as many of us like to use this particular word, even though I don't like it, if you're an average guy,
Oh shit.
and
Oh shit.
you talk to, date, communicate, deal with average women, you're not playing by the same rules. So I don't think that you have to hold so much close to the vest. If you're dealing with a wholesome chick who's solid, you don't have to live by that code. You can divulge, share, declassify stuff. A lot of good women aren't going to be putting your business out on blast, even if your situation with her ends badly. I've had many situations in my past dating women. They did not end well. And they knew stuff about me they weren't going to share because decent people, despite the fact that things don't go their way ultimately, don't do messy things like being gossipy. and divulging information that they know you don't want shared. So I think we're dealing with a tale of two different worlds here. There's famous people, celebrity, rich person access world, and then there's everybody else. If you're in everybody else world, I don't think that you need to take this as gospel. If you're in influenced celebrity, Shaq, these are I'm messing with what was the term that you use? Lot lizards. If, if you are if you are a famous person, Shaquille O'Neal, Jalen Green, I deal with lot lizards on a regular basis. I can understand where you're coming from because those chicks have no soul usually, and they don't give a shit. But I think real everyday women, who by the way look just as good as these chicks, by the way, the ones who look good, they look just as good. Just saying, they're less likely to do that. So tailor two different worlds, and it's just a matter of which world you come from.
Yeah, I could see that. I might be the person that has been through too many life experiences for me to. I mean, I'm more in line with them, to be honest. Now, I'm not going to be a shell of myself and not be myself. However, I did realize through trial and error that these girls are not your sister, they ain't your mom, they ain't your cousins or your auntie. And they can and will use that against you. Not in the court of law, maybe not even the court of public opinion, but through interpersonal battles. And one thing that I have experienced, through, ex relationships, it was there was always this undertone of power struggles going on where this person's going to care less, this person's going to do this person's going to do that. And when you have that tit for tat war going on, you cannot give up confidential information because she's sitting in her bunker trying to find a way so she can get an edge on you in that power struggle dynamic. Overtly, people look at y'all relationship, things are great. Y'all go places, y'all having a good time, but there's still this little thing that y'all be going through where one's trying to get the one up on the next. So if you told her where the schematics to your heart is, then she will use that against you. And now this is speaking from personal experiences. Now, I'm not saying there's every woman's going to do that, but I would just chalk that up to the emotionally immature women who aren't responsible enough to handle such privileged information. That's what I would say. So I would say that if somebody is willing to do that, I've done enough trial experiments. All right, my little monkey was playing video games on this. I already did enough data collection for me to go, nah, I'll play this safe. And if I want to air something out, feel some type of way, I'll share it with my boys. I'll talk to my brother. I'll talk to somebody, but not her about this. And so by keeping it close to the vest, when it comes to, because you can open up, you can be yourself, but there's some tissue area, your Achilles heel, if you will, that the only thing she got to do is turn this key and your heart shattered or whatever. If she don't know that, then she can't hit you in your Achilles. She'll try to hit you everywhere else and find out you're immortal. So I think it's best to just do that until you know who you're dealing with. And if you feel like you can't actually trust this person, then go for it. But me personally, I think that it's a good little rule of thumb, because all is fair in love and war, right? And when you're dealing with these people who are treating you as an opponent versus somebody that you be sharing the rest of your life with them, you just have to, like you said, you got to know who you're dealing with. And then from that point, is it this type of person who could use this against me, or is this person, more lighthearted? And even in that case, I would still take it very easy with that. There's still other things that they can use that against you on. I just brought up power struggle and dynamics, and as an example, but I've seen it go down, and I agree with them. Now, this may, most women may go, well, I want my man to be vulnerable, and I would say to those women, it is until you see him crying. Now he's just a bitch. And well, this made you cry, bro. Oh my gosh. Now you have to remember for the woman that thinks you're now a, not hardcore bitch, but it's like, come on, man, you my dude. Like, my dude ain't supposed to be around here. You're supposed to be Superman to her. And so Superman don't cry. He takes bullets and spit them out. So I'm not saying don't be whatever. I'm saying be that strong, stern figure to her and your kids. And if you want to be vulnerable, share that in a known safe location. And then keep that stern frame going at other times until this is really a safe space. But yeah, I don't think this is just for Country Wayne's and Shaquille O'Neal's. I've had my fair share of women who, wow, I told you that just because yeah, right down my face. So hey, man, it be that way. So I just tread lightly when it comes to sharing vulnerable information, if you will, with partners.
Yeah, I mean, I mean, it boils down to the nature of what it is that we're sharing. Like, what exactly are we sharing here?
Now you can
There's some.
you can share, now this is what I'm saying for my context. Now you could share regular stuff. You can open up. It's open up is ambiguous, but I'm talking about that vulnerable state to where you're low key in shambles. You just want to hug. You just want to talk it out. And
Okay, and
sometimes
you think that that's what they're talking about?
I think that's what they're getting at. Me personally.
I think what they were getting at is, generally speaking, don't share sensitive information with women that can come back to make you look bad or bite you in the ass, whether it is super intimate stuff or not, because that's how I interpreted that video, and that's what derived my like opinion on it. Because I don't think it's a good idea for anybody, much less a guy, to be sharing super duper sensitive, hyper close to the vest information with anybody that you do not ultimately trust. Like, if this isn't a life mate, you shouldn't be sharing any of that stuff. I don't care how long you've been dating somebody. There's just certain things that are reserved for, okay, you're my life mate. We have a family together. I've been with you long enough. I know that you won't betray me. Okay, here we go. So
Right.
all of that stuff that you're saying is fine, but I was assuming that that's not even what we're talking about here.
Oh, okay. That's
I was assuming we were talking about whatever. But again, but again, we are all a microcosm of our experiences. So I hear what you're saying, but I would also say that the way that we handle some of these situations is pretty much rooted in the types of people that we find ourselves around. So largely, if you find yourself around people who are just ordinarily not trustworthy and people who you just cannot find yourself under any circumstance being able to trust with any kind of information, I think, and I'm not talking about you specifically, I'm just speaking in general. I think that provides you with the opportunity to take inventory on the types of people you deal with. And maybe if you can figure out a way to pivot to deal with different types of women, it can give you a different perspective. Because I don't think that is a general practice that you necessarily need to maintain unless you find yourself routinely in situations that can go left if you share something with somebody who's that type of person.
Yeah, that's me.
And I do truly believe that we are, the byproducts of the people that we associate with and who we attract. I do believe that. But that's neither here nor there. in any event, I hear where you're coming from. I do think toxicity breeds toxicity. If you're with toxic people, don't share shit. That's a simple rule. Don't share nothing deep. Don't share nothing surface. If you have a suspicion that this person is toxic, don't say shit. But of course, not everyone's like that. So it's just about who are the people that you're dealing with.
Correct.
That causes you to have that worldview where you feel like you can't do this because you find yourself potentially under attack by this person because they can wield this information as a weapon. It's unfortunate that it can come to that, but that is life. I do think that there's a tale of two different worlds, though, because I think when it comes to people like Shaq, you can be dealing with a life mate. So, like, what I'm saying is, in the regular world, if this is a person that you know you can ultimately trust, life mate status, we ain't going nowhere till death do us part, then go for it. Share whatever. Even in the world that he lives in,
Oh
you
yeah.
can be dealing with someone who you think fits that, and it'll still go left on you. Where all of a sudden you looking like a duck out in the streets, getting exposed, having your private business told on you, and you felt like she was the ride or die forever because the stakes are much higher. Because there's resources on the line. So she feels as though she has too much to lose by coming out of this situation, not being able to benefit in some kind of way. And if she thinks that exposing you can lead her towards being able to benefit, or if she thinks that threatening to expose you can lead towards you being able to benefit, she's going to pull that card, even if she was your ride or die. So for people like him, he's in a perilous situation where you have to guard against that, whether she's life mate material or a lot lizard. Whereas I think for guys like us, it's pretty much whether she's a lot lizard or not. And I think that as long as she's not a lot lizard, you can kind of go that far. But again, don't take it too far unless you know that this is somebody who you can ultimately trust.
Yeah, I get that. I just think that and I agree with you. I just think that when if you just look at a situation where, let's say that we're in a situation where there's this dude, he's literally 8 feet tall. Like, we're this post-apocalyptic world. All right, it's survival of whoever survives. This is an 8 foot dude. He's 8 feet tall, legitimately. And not Wembenyama. He's like 380 pounds of muscle. This guy's just going through people. Everywhere we follow this dude, he's just crushing it. So we don't care. He'll tackle a bison. He'll do anything. Then, one day we're all having drinks, and then he tells us, something, personal about him, where he ain't 8 feet tall no more. And he not chiseled out of marble no more. He's kind of like mortal. Then when he goes to start to do whatever he's about to do, and you go, look at him. He right. He really can't pick that shit. He just be moving it. And then you go, the magic's gone. And then I would argue over time, maybe not immediately, that guy's power is going to get challenged. So the whole point about me bringing this up was to not be seen in a position where you're naked, and just keep your clothes on, even if you trust her, because you're supposed to be leading her. That ain't your friend like that. So that's the more or less the angle that I was coming from, with a sense of keep a little bit for yourself. You still need that mystique as a man over your woman. And the way you keep that is not divulging too much information about yourself. Now, does this go for all women or just the scandalous ones? Who knows? I'm just telling you that from my personal experiences, from the women that I was dealing with, I saw that look in their eye change after, it wasn't like that's why we broke up or anything like that. But it's just like, I just noticed a change in the atmosphere where, man, I used to be that dude. But after that, it's kind of like, So that's the part where I think, for me, I was talking more from an aspect of keeping that mystique over the woman. But as I already said, man, if I'm dealing with this woman and this is already 7, 8, 9, 10 years deep, it is what it is, then, then, and we're doing this together forever, then there could be situation. Well, she will just by law just know things about me that other people don't. But that still don't mean that I sit on my couch and cry to her. So, and figuratively speaking, so I do that with my therapist, the homies, and crush that out. But her, I'm gonna still be 8 foot tall and 350 pounds of marble. So, yeah, that's how I look
Okay,
at it.
yeah. Yeah, that's fine. That's fine. I guess, you and I might be interpreting what we're sharing differently.
Yeah,
Yeah, because I'm never going, there's a line. And so yeah, if you I am also not going to ever get to a point where I am going to share something that I feel as though it comes up on that line of it can cause a different impression of me to be developed. No, I'm not
mhm.
going to go that far. I'm just talking about before you get to that line, being someone who is comfortable in a sharing capacity. That's how I was looking at it.
Oh yeah, well, if that's the
Yeah.
if that's what you're talking about, who cares? But that line to me, don't cross it. And to me, that's what I think they were talking about. Of hey, don't go over there with them. That's how I was taking that
Okay.
conversation.
Yeah. I thought they were just in general talking about being vulnerable in general and opening up
Nah,
and
man, that's cool. You're
communicating.
a human, but don't be
Yeah,
a
I mean
human around her.
that's kind of that's kind of what I took from that. But yeah, it just depends on the nature of what it is that you're sharing. But
Yeah,
I mean, either way, it just depends. It depends on the people involved and you know all that good stuff.
word.
But yeah, shouts out to Shaq. You go ahead and continue not sharing, man.
Hey, Dave.
You know, uh, those are words for you to live by. Only you know your experiences, bro. So you have at that. No disrespect here.
Hmm.
But with that on that note, we're gonna go ahead and close out, man. This was a great stream. Appreciate it. Have fun. Thanks to all of the channel supporters who stopped by to take a look at what we had going on. Stay tuned for the video uploads. We certainly appreciate you.
Yes, sir.
Conscious approach on Instagram at Con Approach, CONAPPROACH. I am on Instagram at JVWins, JVWINS. If you see this video on the Facebook page, follow the page, hit the like button, share the video, share it on YouTube, leave a comment, hit that subscribe button, hit the like button. Do your boys a big old solid. And thank you for joining the community, man. We get a kick, a huge blast out of doing this each and every week.
Yeah.
Shouts out to my Heat who need to get right. We have lost 7 games in a row.
Fuck.
But I also feel quite vindicated in my original projection of what we were going to be before the season started. So it is what it is. I like the Terry Rozier trade, but we are still not quite there yet. So we need to get it together. Other than that, JV Wins is here. Dogon SS is here. We'll see you on the next video.
Yay, sir. And the name is Dogon SS, not dog on it. And you can find me on Instagram at Dogon_SS and on YouTube at Dogon SS. I know y'all see them S's, bro. Holla at the boy. All right. And as I say on every part, everybody, golly, don't be too high, don't be too low. Keep it calm, keep it chill, keep it player. And don't let anybody get you off your pivot, including Taylor Swift and the ultra liberal machine trying to get me to vote for a particular governmental party. And as I say on every part, guys, we'll catch y'all on the flip side. Screw, screw.
Yes, sir. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, supporters of the channel. On that note, we will catch y'all on the flip side. Until next time, we are signing off. Thank you very much. We will see you later. Peace.
Go Canes.
Go
Canes.
Heat, man. Get off that losing streak,
Yeah,
man.
go Heat.
God, come on, man.
Embarrassing.
She whiz.
Yeah, man. I said.